Hey, what's happening, gamers? Welcome back to KwingsLetsPlays, and the game is afoot with more of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, Episode 34, Resolve Live, A Grave Mystery, brought to you by our friends over at Capcom, who provided a copy of this game for review, walkthrough, and live streaming purposes. So, the rains are literally pouring outside as we have a flood warning, which is weird because we don't even live near the ocean or a lake.
I was sad today. I think I made it cry with my empath powers.
Okay.
The sky cried.
So anyway, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I got my tea here to help open up my throat. Your streams tonight are as follows. You've got a Marvelous stream at around 8 o'clock. And I think I'm finishing Super Metroid tonight, or I'm doing something else! Thank you, Zelda. Okay, so Zelda's here, so it's time to begin. Alright, hi, Zelda.
There, see, I wrote, had to pull over, flash flood warning, hype.
Oh my gosh.
I should have taken a picture of the rain outside my car. I literally couldn't see a thing. I started driving on the highway and I had to pull over because I couldn't see in front of me and I thought I was gonna die.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was really bad today. So Luke was telling me before we started, should we order a pizza because I'm hungry? He's like, should I make the Pizza Hut guy like go in the flood? I was like, yes! Order it! Luke said, no, I'm gonna wait. Also, the only reason why we needed to get another pizza is because the other pizza we got was like really weird. Whatever pizza we got before, the olives tasted like rocks.
Yeah, we're just doing Pizza Hut.
And the ham tasted like really salty and it didn't taste normal. There's something really wrong with it. I should call them and get my money back.
Here we go.
Ugh.
So we were examining the body last time.
Are you sure you shared it?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna double check that you shared it.
That's fine, you can check my work.
I'm gonna recheck it. I don't know, I don't want to be mean. I was gonna say something.
It doesn't matter if they are here in Britain or in Japan. Graveyards are scary.
Now come to think of it, this is the first time I've seen a British grave, yeah! According to what I've read, the custom in Britain is to bury the dead as they are, without cremation.
What? But if you do that, you might accidentally bury people while they're still alive!
Ah! Is this episode 34?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna pin this.
Okay.
Okay. I'm not sure what would be worse than accidentally incinerating people while they're still alive.
I think we can both agree that it's best not to be still alive when our time comes then.
And what am I to say to that, Ryunosuke? Alright, I'm not gonna go to all the fears that I've had about graveyards, and I'm just not gonna talk about it because I don't want anyone to worry the same way I do.
Oh, that would be amazing, not to...
I'm not gonna talk about it because it's too freaky.
Yep.
This must be the killer! The fiend known as the Professor!
Yes, I think so. According to what Madame Tuspel said, he killed 5 victims, all of noble or royal blood.
The waxwork is so lifelike, isn't it? Like all the models in this place.
I know, it looks like it could start moving at any moment, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If only it had a head, that is.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps we should examine it a little bit more in detail. Whoop.
Yep. The Headless Horseman. Well, I don't know whose head that's supposed to be. So this is the condemned man.
Yep, the so-called Professor.
Then perhaps his head was chopped off by a guillotine. But unable to find peace, he emerged from his grave as a headless ghost.
Do we have to entertain such terrifying ideas, Miss Susie? Anyway, I'm sure the model had a head once. There's metal fitting where it was, see?
Then perhaps Mr. Schoems absent-mindedly forgot to reattach it?
That's an extremely absent-minded detective you're describing, isn't it?
Or perhaps... The thief absent-mindedly forgot to include the head when he or she returned the stolen property.
Okay. And that would be an extremely absent-minded thief, then. Could there have been some reason why only the head wasn't returned? Well, whatever the reason, it means we don't know what face of the infamous professor looked like, do we? Oh! There's something caught just inside the convict's jacket. It looks like a piece of broken glass. And quite a big piece, too.
It's very thick, isn't it? About 5 times thicker than normal window glass, I'd say. Glazing.
Where could such a thick piece of glass have come from, I wonder?
I suppose it must have been made thick to increase its strength.
But why?
Well, perhaps because the glass had to span a particularly wide area, such as a big building, for example.
Well, we've seen a large glass building recently, haven't we? And some of the glass was broken, too.
Oh my gosh! The Crystal Tower where they did the experiment. You don't mean...
Exactly. The Crystal Tower at the Great Exhibition. This is the dummy they used.
Whoa. But why would glass from the Crystal Tower be lodged inside the waxwork's jacket?
It makes you think, doesn't it? The piece of broken glass has been entered into the court record, so this thing was used as the body double. Probably standing inside of the cage, then the smoke and the thing.
I just had an idea, though. Since the head is gone, it made me think about something.
Yeah.
Well, may I say it or no?
Sure, real quick.
Alright, I'll say it real quick. So they found this guy in the Crystal Tower. This wax figure. Not the other way around.
No, I don't think they found the wax figure in the crystal.
But look at the crystal was near the wax figure. So I'm just saying, what if, blowing your mind, what if it wasn't the guy's body that they found? Maybe they killed the guy in the box and it was the wax figure that they put to pretend to be him that was in the...
But then how did they get the body from it? They would have discovered it was a wax figure.
I know. Oh. Well, I was just saying the way they make it look like him is if they made a special head that looked like his face and then screwed it onto this guy.
Or the guy who looked like the professor looked like the guy who died. Earlier in court, we established what the kinesis experiment was a trick, and now we discover this fragment of glass here in this wax figure. Is it just a coincidence? I don't know. Okay, so we examined everything, so that means it's time to talk to Mr. Schoems, because I believe Schoems is here. Let's see. Yeah, there he is. Okay. Resurrecting convict. I believe I told you a little bit about the professor yesterday, did I not? He took the lives of 5 innocent victims, every one of them being either a member of aristocracy or royalty. All were attacked by an enormous hunting hound and had their throats ripped from their bodies. Ow. Ugh.
Oh gosh! An enormous hound? How awful!
After taking the life of his 5th victim, the killer was apprehended. It was the case of unprecedented magnitude in Britain, you understand accordingly. The professor was tried in a closed court. No members of the public were permitted. A closed court? So you mean that the professor's identity... As you've surmised, my dear fellow, his identity was never made public. Naturally, he was found guilty and was summarily sentenced to death by hanging. He was buried in a grave at Low Gate Cemetery, which adorns the rear of the prison where he had been held. However, that was not the end of the affair. What?
Oh!
Huh? The very night that he was buried, the convicted man came back to life. Came back to life?
Nani?
He clawed his way out of the ground and emerged into the moonlight graveyard.
Whoa.
The exhibit here depicts that very scene as described by the sole witness to those chilling events. There was a witness? But of course, my dear fellow, it was none other than... the man in the white overcoat and the weird monocle. Drebber! He saw it happen?
Whoa. Zombie Rise!
How does that work?
Definitely Billy.
So this wax figure model of Enoch Drebber, whatever. 10 years ago, the convicted professor, having been gibbeted? What?
Gibbeted? I don't know.
Oh.
I've never heard of that word.
Nope.
I'll look it up.
The convicted professor, having been gibbeted, buried, and emerged from his grave in the dead of night, the sole witness to that unimaginable scene was this young man. From appearances, I would say he was about 20 years old at the time.
Executed. That's what gibbeted means.
Oh. Okay.
A common law execution.
Okay.
Oh, it's so horrifying!
That it is. Scared out of his wits, the young Drebber ran to a nearby police station to report the incident. And the sheer terror of what he had seen is said to have turned his hair white overnight. Yes, as shown in the photograph we have him, his hair is completely white. For the following few days, the story of what he had seen was on the front of every page in the capital. The public was frantic for the very last detail about the killer who'd come back to life. As you've seen, the exhibit was created here at Madame Tuspel's.
I can quite understand why the man's hair turned white, certainly. But what I don't understand is what Mr. Drebber was doing here in the first place. In a lonely graveyard in the middle of the night.
Yeah, what was he up to?
Creepy stuff.
The following the execution. The professor's acts of terror threw London upper classes into complete panic 10 years ago. It was a great scandal, one might say, at the very highest levels of society. And since the killer's identity was never made public, rumors abounded. After all, no killer had ever before systematically employed a dog as a weapon of murder. Yeah, I can imagine the impact the case must have had. But in the time, of course, the rumors abated. So too did talk of the shocking witness account of the convict who came back to life. It was forgotten, dismissed as a dubious ghost story, as preposterous parlor tale, if you will.
But why did people stop believing it?
Why? Simply because there was no resurrection to speak of, as established in fact. What do you mean by that? No resurrection? The police investigated the grave in Lowgate Cemetery and published their findings. The convict's body was found to be buried exactly where it had been following the execution.
No! But that would mean Mr. Drebber must have lied to the police and the newspapers.
That would appear to be the only logical explanation, yes. The young man subsequently vanished from society and nothing was ever heard from him since. It was rather striking, then, that he should resurface now, don't you think? Of course the convicted murderer couldn't really have come back to life. That's not possible, right? But Drebber's hair is unusually white, and if that really did happen overnight as a result of the shock, it's hard to believe the incident was an out-and-out lie.
I've never heard of out and out, the expression.
Old saying, probably Victorian era.
Ah! what the bleeding Nora, Odin? What have you gotten and done?
Gina, what are you doing here?
I asked Iris, and she said this is where you'd be. So, Gina, not so loud in the museum.
Madame Tuspel's will have you take a position as a waxwork if you're not careful, my dear. I think there might be more pressing concern, though.
Yeah, sorry we didn't do the stream yesterday, guys. I still had some flash powder left from 6 months ago, so... It was mainly my fault. So... Alright, Gina, we understand. But please, put down the gun.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Sorry, I got scared.
You should try being the one on the other end of that barrel. So what brings you here, Gina?
What brings me here? What do you think? We found it! We found that dodgy Cove's workshop.
What? You found the Drebber's workshop?
Yup, Toby's nose took me straight there. The boss and the others are heading over there now, in a drag. So come on now.
Well,
Here's the address. I got the boss to write it down for me. Oh, thank you, Gina. We'll make our way there at once. Alright then, let's see it. See you there.
where did you get the "let's" from?
I don't know, Luke.
Oh, you go. Don't mind me. I'll just stay here, being still. What? I know my place. In the exhibit over there.
Oh dear. Someone is feeling sorry for himself. He feels sad.
Let's go, Mr. Schoems. You're coming too. Your words hard to me, I must say. But if I were to shirk my duties here, Madam would have me pay monetary recompense, and Iris's dinner plate would be empty once more. Forget that. I'll pay for everything. There's not a moment to lose, my dear fellow. I shall hail a carriage at once.
He just wants to be paid.
No offer to share the cost from Mr. Schoems, then.
Yeah. It's Kwings. I will help with the case. Thank you, Renee. I shall gladly pay half, Mr. Naruhodo.
Thank you, Miss Susie. Right, let's go. Alright, we have a new area to go to. Oh, there it is. There's the machine. I need a sip of my tea again, guys. I'm trying to open my throat up. Drink tea while it's hot.
Oh, 23rd of October, Enoch Drebber's workshop. I kind of missed what exactly happened there. What happened to the corpse? Did he die again and go back into the grave?
They haven't explained it at all.
Oh.
That looks like...
Oh, it's another super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine!
Yep, she's shocked. That's the expression she has. Indeed, it would appear so. There's only a prototype, naturally.
Oh, it's another kinesis machine! So you got here then. Gina, well done for finding this place. And in such little time. You really worked miracles. It's Toby, eh? Who's the miracle worker?
Woof. I thought you would show up before too long. Well, hello, Inspector. That's one knitted brow there. He looks like he's eating a lemon, not a bag of fish and chips.
Or his eyes closed.
I don't know.
So, Inspector, is there any sign of the engineer?
Certainly not. We couldn't find a soul here.
Oh, what a shame.
But he'll be back, probably. Well, thank you for letting us know about this place and giving us a chance to investigate, though. According to what Gina tells me, we only found it thanks to a clue that you lot turned up. I wouldn't want to say, go to Paris with a debt of gratitude unpaid now, would I? Thank you, sir. Anyway, if you're hoping to snoop around in here, I'd get cracking. Lord Van Zeeks and the forensic investigation team are on the way as we speak. Them again? I imagine you've got the picture by now. They don't take kindly to lawyers. Right. So then, my dear fellow, let us turn this place upside down whilst we have the chance. And you, Schoems? Pardon? And now I wake up and my, throat is all runny. It's the worst feeling ever. They take even less kindly to great detectives than they do lawyers. Very droll, Gregson, very droll. But you may consider me nothing more than an inconspicuous wax model. Right then, let's see what we can find here then.
Maybe this is the real machine, and then they switched it.
I don't know. This appears here to be the most interesting. Yes, most interesting indeed, wouldn't you say? It's an impressive-looking back massager, that's for sure. I have no doubt that if you hit your shoulders a few times with that, your aches and pains would go away soon. It's a Royal Society trophy for excellence in science. A young scientist could wish for no higher honor. Would you like a massage? No, I'm fine, thank you. I had no idea it was such a grand thing.
I think it's becoming increasingly clear that there's much more to this Mr. Enoch Drebber than conjuring tricks.
I couldn't agree more, my dear madam. And how about you, Mr. Naruhodo? Wouldn't you like to take it with you? For your tired shoulders, of course? He's not gonna let that go, is he? Nope.
It's curious, though, isn't it? You would expect such an important trophy to be proudly on display somewhere, not haphazardly cast aside.
Well, he was kicked out of the scientific community, so...
Just hazing.
Oh, yeah.
English gentlemen can be quite a mystery at times, I guess.
The science trophy has been added into the court record.
He's Dante with the white hair.
Yeah. Anything else we can see?
I've actually heard weird stories about people going through extreme fear and their hair turning white. It actually has happened before.
What on earth is this? There's a lot of folklore about that.
An aeroplane, Mr. Naruhodo. One day, scientists believe it will allow humans to fly freely in the skies.
Is that how the trick will be described, is it?
Sorry?
Well, it's actually suspected by... it's actually suspended by thin but very strong cable, isn't it?
Oh! Well, this model is, yes, but a real airplane would actually fly in the sky.
While suspended from somewhere even higher in the sky, of course, by a wire?
No!
Because large metal objects obviously can't really stay in midair unsupported.
So, to you, the solution is ever taller towers?
Okay.
Naruhodo! Planes fly without a wire. It's called by air.
Don't tell him about the future. He wouldn't understand it. Oh, there's the quiver. It's the European-style quiver of arrows with steel bolts inside.
Oh, do you suppose?
Crossbow bolts, these? Yes. And just the right size for the bow you turned up at the exhibition grounds. In other words... Yup. That's more evidence to support your theory. It all goes to show that Drebber was the one pulling the strings behind the scenes of the whole scam. The details of the crossbow have updated in the court record. Words.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Naruhodo. That machine is covered by the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act. There would be serious repercussions if you were to examine it from the Crown and the government.
Schoems don't care. Gina, Schoems.
They're examining.
Well, those two don't seem to be holding anything back. It's quite hollow inside, no working parts of devices. Deception to be seen, my dear fellow.
No loose change dropped on the floor, nothing. Not even a bone for Toby here, my dear fellow. British people are very much ruled by their own ideals, aren't they?
I think that's just these two, Miss Susie.
That's funny. She's gonna get an idea how British people are by being around Gina and Holmes.
Yep. But Gina is like... She's supposed to be like a street urchin, so...
Street rat.
No.
Street rat.
No.
I don't buy that.
No.
Look a little closer.
Oh! I said no! This door doesn't want to open, though.
Yeah, looks like it's got a pretty hefty lock on it.
There's a special locksmith on his way over from the yard, so hands off till he gets here. With permission, Inspector, I would like that lock open in less... I can have that lock open in less than a minute. Well, you don't have permission. And no one's giving it to you, so... Ha! Oh, Gregson actually has fish and chips for once. Usually it's just chips. You can see the fish right there in his...
I know.
That's interesting.
He actually has fish today.
Yep. Gregson looked as though he really enjoyed that.
Well, there's no sound of anyone on the other side.
No, Drebber must have fled at the first sign of danger.
Thanks, Cassie.
Oh.
I know, Cassie and Dr. Mario. I love Aladdin. Thud. Oh!
Is something wrong, Miss Susie?
Well, I thought I heard a noise. From the far side of that door.
What?
Well, Gina, did you hear it too? Yeah, I heard it and all. What do you reckon, Toby?
Woof woof, bark. Right then, mind the grease. Who's ever in there, open up. This is Scotland Yard. Clomp, 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 clomp. I don't know what that is. Squeak. Clunk.
Oh, wait, I'm probably messing with the internet. Oh my, someone is there!
Oh my gosh, we dropped frames, yeah.
Oops, I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah, probably don't do that.
Maybe I'll just hit this. Okay.
Ah, this rotten bleeding lock! My dear Gregson, as I said only moments ago, if only it were countered, I could unlock that door in less than a minute. Ah. Fine, I'll take the rap for it. Just get through that blasted door. There, you may now enter at will. You've confused minutes with seconds, I think. This is of the time is of the essence, I feel. What are we waiting for? Nothing for it, I suppose. This is an emergency. There's a strong possibility that beyond that door is the engineer you all seek. Be prepared for action, my dear fellow. Yes.
Whoa.
There's a bomb.
Oh, there is a bomb!
What? What's happened in here? Why is everything upside down?
Rocks! There's no one in here after all! But there must be. It was only moments ago that we heard those noises, Gina.
Maybe that was the sound of Drebber running away.
But there's only one door into this room, Ryunosuke. Whoa.
And no windows that could afford an escape route. Those skylights are too high. What's up there? Are there footprints on the ceiling? Hello? Blow me! What have we here then?
I don't know. How could there be footprints on the ceiling?
Looks like someone was trying to burn something in a hurry.
Oh, that looks like a set of blueprints.
To what? To that Professor Hairbrain's balmy machine, is it? Blimey! If we had these, we would have no need to make up trying to investigate that scrap metal. There's something of great interest over here, too. The rope was lying on the floor at the foot of that pillar. A rope? What significance is that? Never mind. You see, but you do not observe, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh?
We must investigate the entire room thoroughly, and before the forensic investigation team arrive too.
Okay. There's a hot air balloon here. There's a model. Everything is topsy-turvy in here. Let's see. What kind of things can we click on? We can't click on that. There's a bomb here. Let's click here first.
Almost every piece of furniture is upside down!
Even Mr. Holmes' suite isn't ever in this much of a mess.
You're in no position to comment on mess, Mr. Naruhodo.
I see. Yeah, that's true. But I suppose it's not quite the same thing, is it? I mean, it's not messy in here, per se. It's that everything is literally upside down.
But why?
That is a good... Because they was tearing the place up looking for something, would be my guess.
Oh, there's a safe and there's a balloon.
Yep. There's a really lovely made model. It looks like a real flying balloon.
I think it's probably staying aloft on the same principle as a full-size balloon, using gas.
A green flying balloon. It does have the hallmarks of that amazing deception at the Great Exhibition, doesn't it? Could it be? And that whole thing was planned here in this very workshop? Probably. There's no denying it there. There's footprints up there.
Yes, it would appear so. And I simply can't imagine how they came to be there.
Isn't there a Susie shoot-up or something? Like a Susie takedown, I mean?
I'm no Wonder Woman, Mr. Naruhodo.
They put that reference there because... never mind. That would make her almost superhuman, I suppose. I don't think they've mentioned Wonder Woman in the original Japanese one.
Oh, okay.
They would have probably talked about somebody of, like, significance to, like, anime or manga culture or something. But they threw that in for Western audience, because... Yeah. Okay, let's go with...
Westerners are big into superheroes.
I mean, it's kind of part of our modern mythology. That's a very large safe. I don't suppose even Mr. Schoems could open that lock. Although, if you were a thief, you could just steal the entire thing, I suppose. Be a very heavy safe.
It's bolted to the floor to prevent exactly the sort of underhanded trick, Mr. Naruhodo.
Well then, you could just steal the floor, I suppose, as well.
I'm sorry, but you really aren't even making any sense at all, Ryunosuke. Anyway, I think we can agree that whatever is inside must be very important.
Okay. Anything else to click on? We did the balloon, we did this, we did that.
The bomb, maybe? Or
yeah.
bombs?
Mr. Schoems, have you found something? Ah, Mr. Naruhodo, yes. In point of fact, something rather fascinating. What do you make of this? Let's see. I've never seen anything like it before. My gosh, guys, it's a bomb. It's trying to blow up his lab. It looks like a bundle of... Ah!
Ah!
What? What is it, Miss Susie? What's the matter?
That's surely that's a time bomb, isn't it?
What? Did you say? Uh-oh.
Oh no, a time bomb?
Sorry, but, what is a time bomb exactly? Ha 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 ha! You truly are a one of a kind, Mr. Naruhodo. I won't take that as a compliment.
Ha! You don't know nothing, do ya, Odo?
You haven't got a clue what it is either, do you, Gina? I invite you to consult the dictionary later, Mr. Naruhodo. But this particular specimen is no time bomb, though I confess it has a very similar appearance.
Oh, well, thank goodness. But when? What is it?
I see. So that's it. What is it?
Goodness, Mr. Schoems, have you seen the heart of this matter?
There are times when I consider my lot most unfair, for I am fated never to know how it feels to flounder as you do when a puzzle presents itself. But I have learned to accept that hardships that come with being a great detective, Miss Susie. Here we go. I feel a great deduction coming on. Once again, I can draw two conclusions from the scene we see before us. Wouldn't you run? Is that inverted nature of the furniture in this room is the work of Drebber himself.
Oh, but how could you,
And the second conclusion is that the small device on the floor there is, without a question, completely genuine.
Please, Mr. Schoems, you must explain everything.
Run away, you guys.
I mean, is it set? Is it ticking?
I don't know. It would be my pleasure. After all, it is the great detective's civic duty to teach Scotland Yard the final points of the trade. Gregson didn't like that. Well, Inspector Gregson seems delighted with the idea anyway. Uh-oh.
Oh, you deflected the inspector's glare with such fortitude there, Mr. Schoems. Well done.
You're too kind, my dear madam. I hereby dedicate the great deduction to you. Kindly stand right there, Miss Susie.
Oh, yes. I'd be delighted.
So, we shall now begin, shall we? Once again, Herlock Sholmes is proud to present his Logic and Reasoning Spectacular. The Great Deduction. The game is afoot. Flip furniture. Susie's right there. Oh, sorry. It's plain to see that this room is in complete disarray. I need more tea. One second, please.
Christina says, I like your Sholmes voice. Luke, he's my favorite in the Ace Attorney. I can't wait to see you do another Sholmes Great Deduction. Awesome!
Thank you.
Yeah, also guys, please don't give spoilers.
Yeah, we're doing this blind.
I've noticed a couple people are trying to give spoilers. They said they already beat the case and they're gonna tell everybody like what it is.
Yeah, don't.
So please don't do that because people are actually, they don't want to know.
Yeah, they're tuning in to watch this. It's blind like us. Also, if we need help, we will ask people in the chat. For most part, this is a live Let's Play. Except today it's kind of like a stalled Let's Play because I have to keep opening my throat up.
Yeah. So yeah, there's no.
Okay.
Yep.
It is plain to see that this room is in complete disarray. The bed and the table and the chairs, the lamp, everything is upside down. Almost as if every item in the room had, until recently, been happily positioned on the ceiling, before falling straight down onto the floor. Susie doesn't believe that. Every item in the room was on the oh, whoops.
Are you suggesting then, Mr. Sholmes, that if every item was on the ceiling...
Indeed, the key here is the gravity.
What?
It would appear that technology has last succeeded in freeing us from the great pull of the Earth. For the gravity in this room was reversed and then suddenly restored to normality.
No way. That's impossible. Goodness!
The inverted furniture clearly reveals the truth about the part gravity played in the whole business. I quite understand your skepticism, Miss Susie. I too was incredulous at first. However, my conviction in my analysis was cemented when I observed this. The anti-gravity device almost identical to the one that featured in the room of mine only the other day, in fact. In a dream. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm not mad at you guys if you gave spoilers. I'm just letting you guys know not to do it. That's all. Yeah. You can keep being in the chat and hanging out. It's completely fine. Mm-hmm. Okay. But when, then why does it have a clock on it then?
A most relevant question indeed. That is a timing device that controls when the gravity direction will switch. This was clearly a requirement of the engineer to be able to restore normal gravity automatically. And the commotion we heard earlier on the other side of the door was the moment that restoration occurred. I still think it's a bomb. Yes, the reason why everything in this room has been turned upside down is because of the anti-gravity device. So you see, we need look no further than to explain the state in which we now find this room. The direction in which gravity acts in here was reversed by Mr. Drebber, before being restored to normality in the automatic fashion sometime later by a timer device. I have witnessed precisely this scene in a dream I once had when I fell out of bed.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
He had an idea of a scientific discovery in a dream. It's actually pretty cool. He must really be thinking about...
I mean, the flux capacitor was created by Doc Brown when he hit his head on a toilet, so anything's possible, I suppose. Now let us consider the next conundrum, shall we? What was our engineer friend's aim? Indubitably, the greatest clue we have to explain this action is above our heads. Yes. How is it possible that there are footprints all the way up there on this... Oh, whoops. That's Susie.
Yes, how is it possible that there are footprints all the way up there on the ceiling?
A question whose answer would lead us neatly to the truth, my dear madam. The reason there are footprints on the ceiling is because of the nearby skylight. Of course, Drebber's aim was singular to escape. However, there is but one way into this room, except the skylight, that is.
Ah!
Whoa! By inverting the gravity here, Drebber was able to fall conveniently to the ceiling and make his escape via otherwise inaccessible skylight, leaving those footprints behind on the way.
But the ceiling in there is very high, Mr. Schoems. And if the gravity reversal was very sudden, wouldn't Mr. Drebber have fallen up to the ceiling rather violently?
Falling up is both scientifically and philosophically a rather interesting concept, I feel. But the man was concerned with somewhere to run, so escape through the skylight was his only option. You may recall that I found this in the room earlier, which I believe offers a solution.
Oh! The rope!
Quite right. To reach the intended destination, what better tool than this rope? By anchoring one end of the wall, the man was able to lower himself safely to the ceiling. Which explains how Drebber was able to escape this room before our arrival. He reversed the pull of gravity and fled via the skylight. And personally, I should very much like to reverse the pull of gravity now, just for fun.
What?
I think he used the rope. He turned over the furniture so he could climb out the window using a rope, and that is a bomb, because he's trying to blow up evidence.
Oh my god.
Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of this topsy-turvy puzzle. No.
I don't think there's anti-gravity. There's no way there's anti-gravity in here. I don't believe it. Like,
Oh. Tina's like, what? She's completely spellbound. Mr. Sholmes, there's just one thing that troubles me. I would expect nothing less. You're destined to be troubled by just one thing for the rest of your life, Naruhodo-san. The thing is such a thing actually possible? An anti-gravity device, I mean? It looks like a time bomb. I would say that with a man's current scientific knowledge, at the turn of the 20th century, it's more possible than instantaneous kinesis. Huh?
Instant noodles? What?
But your whole deduction hinges on it. Ah, but my dear fellow, when you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. However improbable it may seem. Ha 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 ha. It is a marvelous line, wouldn't you agree? One of more enduring pearls of wisdom. Had Iris come up with the exact phrasing, my original was clumsy. Yeah, I have a feeling I've read it somewhere that Miss Susie lent me once.
Objection!
Oh.
Objection! Actually, there is one other thing, Mr. Schoems.
Ah, the spell's broken at last. Go, Susie, go!
The rope that you found was on the floor, wasn't it?
Indeed it was, in a lonely coils near the wall.
But if Mr. Drebber had used it to escape in the way that you described, wouldn't it still be tied to the wall then?
Mysteries inevitably unravel in the end, as I think you'll find do ropes. And as evidence of such, you need only look at the mystery we faced in this room, now skillfully unraveled. That arrangement is as circular as coils of rope. Argument.
I think perhaps we might need to give Mr. Schoems the usual little helping hand. I'm sure with some minor corrections, the great detective's great deduction will lead us to the truth.
Yes, you're right. Okay. And we must do it quickly before Enoch Drebber gets too far away. He's gone, guys. Come on, there's no way. You've been talking 10 minutes. If you're ready, then let us resume. Herlock Sholmes' Logic and Reasoning Spectacular.
Instead of talking, maybe we should have, tried to go through the window and find him this whole time and follow him.
Yeah.
But instead, we were just sitting here wondering what happened.
Hold it, Mr. Sholmes, because gravity was reversed. It's plain to see that this room is in complete disarray. The bed, table, chairs, the lamp, everything is upside down. Almost as if every item in the room had until recently been happily positioned on the ceiling. But before falling straight down onto the floor, every item in the room was on the ceiling.
Oh, are you suggesting that every item was on the ceiling?
Quite right, yes.
Oh my gosh.
Indeed, the key here is gravity.
Ah!
It would appear that technology has at last succeeded in freeing us from the great pull of the earth. For gravity in this room was reversed and then suddenly restored to normality.
Goodness! Oh my gosh!
What are you doing?
Sorry.
No distractions, please. The inverted furniture clearly reveals the truth.
To think gravity could have been reversed in this room. I find the whole idea utterly enthralling. Only Mr. Schoems could conceive of such an explanation. Wow.
But the man himself admitted it was a scientific impossibility, so...
Yes, you're quite right, Ryunosuke. We must completely discount the idea at once.
Oh, that's unusually merciless of you, Miss Susie.
When you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. The great detective himself said so, didn't he?
While refusing to part with his dream of anti-gravity devices.
Yes, I suppose so.
Well, let's see if examining this topsy-turvy scene a little more closely then reveals some proof that shows exactly what the gravity in this room was or wasn't doing. I mean... Wait, why is the vase right side up? If everything else is upside down, why is the vase not?
Yeah, that's weird.
That is weird. Very well. I wasn't expecting to find a pretty bunch of flowers in here, that's for sure.
Ah, but look at that.
I know, that slender little vase looks like it's about to topple at any moment, but the flowers are thriving. Somehow it makes you think that the fragility of life, wouldn't you say?
Well, to be honest, Mr. Naruhodo, something else about it made it rather deeper impression on me. The fact that it's sitting up straight.
Take that!
The
Upright vase.
The fragility of life, you know? What is going on with you?
The upright vase clearly reveals the truth about the part of gravity played in this whole business. Ah, upon my word, Mr. Naruhodo, you have surpassed yourself by completely turning my argument on its head. Trying to impress your assistant here, perhaps? Oh, no one is trying to steal your spotlight here, Mr. Schoems, trust me. Also, I don't need to impress Susie. I think she likes me anyway. As you say. As rightly you say, though it appears at first glance that all the furniture in the room is upside down. This unassuming slender vase is standing keenly to attention.
That's true.
And unlike the large safe, there is nothing affixing it to the floor.
Which means there was no anti-gravity.
And it's the exception that breaks the rule. In short, as much as it pains me, the gravity in this room was never inverted at all. My deepest sympathies for your loss, Detective.
Oh, poor Mr. Schoems.
I'm fine, but the show must go on, so let us continue with our deductions. Oh, anti-gravity. Now that we know that this, contrivance? No. Now that we know that this contrivance is in fact an anti-gravity device, this remains but no other possibility. You don't say...
It's a bomb.
Someone deliberately turned over every piece of furniture in here. Which might sound obvious, but leaves one mystery very much unsolved. Namely, why would anyone choose to do that?
I don't know.
Quite. And naturally, there's an explanation, my dear fellow. Yes, the reason why everything here has been turned upside down is because of the anti-gravity device. That's a real bomb, it has to be. He's absolutely determined that this device must have something to do with it, isn't he?
I'm afraid the lure of an exciting scientific explanation is too strong for him.
Well, there's no doubt that somebody did do this. Somebody turned all the furniture over. So whoever it is must have had a reason.
I'm afraid nothing comes to mind at all, though.
Well, let's look around and see if the answer will present itself. Okay, I mean, it still looks like a bomb, though. Safe? Look, there's something written on the underside of this armchair.
Oh, yes. Safe 432582.
Safe. As in safe and secure?
No, it was the combination. As in the secure lockable box, I think.
Admittedly, more likely.
Well, there's a large safe bolted to the floor on the other side of the room, so yes.
So you mean this number would let us open it?
I wonder why it's written here, though. Oh, maybe he was gonna bomb the safe if he couldn't get it open.
You don't think he's hiding inside the safe, do you? And he left this there for, like, one of his, like, bad guy friends to come?
What?
I mean, if he's hiding inside the safe and this is turned over, I mean, chances are the police aren't going to know what this is about, because they make the police kind of inept. But, like, say he had an accomplice coming here, and, you know, he's trapped in the safe. The only way he can get out is if somebody opens it.
Why would he be trapped in the safe?
And also, the bomb is there to scare people so they don't investigate.
I'm so confused.
That's that's what I'm thinking. It reminds me of a Batman comic from the 80s, where Batman jumped inside a safe, and there was, like, a bomb that exploded. Batman survived because he was inside the safe. So, I mean, it could really be a bomb.
Oh, yeah, he could have gone in the safe to survive the bomb.
Yeah.
But the bomb isn't even on.
The bomb didn't go off, yeah. Because look at the fuse isn't damaged.
Yeah.
Alright, let's check out the stove. That's a coal-burning heater, I think, isn't it?
Yes, it is. But it's not just for heating, you know. You can grill on it, bake on it, boil on it, and steam things with it. It serves all sorts of purposes.
Wow, that seems like having your cake and eating it too, doesn't it? Not unlike a heated kotatsu table with a nabe hot pot, McKean orange, a cat, and an elderly relative.
Oh, you mean it seems too much? I suppose perhaps it does. But you realize only some of those things are on your list are edible, don't you?
Eating elders is great.
No, the cat and the elder wouldn't be edible, Ryunosuke.
Oh.
Just the orange.
We've already established the gravity device actually isn't reversed in here, haven't we? In other words, this isn't an anti-gravity device at all.
Which makes me very curious to know what sort of device it is. But I think for now it's clear that we're looking for an answer somewhere else. Elsewhere. Sorry.
I mean, I guess I would present the safe combination. It's the only thing that's really out of the ordinary here. You can try it.
Take that!
Oh, okay. Cool. Yes, the reason why everything here has been turned upside down is because of the safe combination. Precisely. I believe, Mr. Naruhodo, that you had a very similar experience once, did you not? Yeah, last year, when I bought a lottery ticket and noted the ticket number down on the inside cover of a book, just in case. That's it. For example, for people are That's it. For people are forgetful souls at heart, and always make a written note of important information.
Just keeping the ticket itself safe would be more sensible, I think, though.
And what, pray, happened next, Mr. Naruhodo? When the day of the draw came around, I had forgotten which book I had put the number in, and had to turn my room upside down to find it. That's it! For people who are forgetful souls at heart, and always forget where they've noted things down.
Not if you always note things in the same place.
Actually, I won second prize, you know. But I couldn't remember which magazine I'd slipped the ticket into. Thank you, Mr. Naruhodo, but I believe I've proved my point now. Which that a very similar scenario has clearly unfolded in this room. Finding himself requiring access to the safe, the occupant of this room needed the combination code. He remembered that he had written it on the underside of a piece of furniture, but forgot which one. leading to the state in which we find the room in disarray. Yes, Mr. Drebber overturned all the furniture in here, in a desperate hurry to locate the combination code that would unlock the safe.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense, except for you'd think that... I'm sorry.
Escaped. Now, let us consider the next conundrum, shall we? Oof. What was our engineer friend's aim, eh? Indubitably, the greatest clue we have to explain his actions is above our heads.
Yes! How is it possible that there are footprints all the way up there on the ceiling?
A question whose answer will lie neatly to the truth, my dear madam. Perhaps. The reason there are footprints on the ceiling of the nearby skylight...
Well, if a change in the direction of gravity can't explain it, then how did those footprints get there?
Yes, I feel as though that particular mystery has just become even harder to solve.
I can't think of any other way to explain it. Oh, life was much simpler in those Halicon days when gravity could be reversed.
It was minutes ago, and those Halicon days never existed in the first place.
Well, I suppose we must simply put our faith in Mr. Schoems and observe the area in more detail.
Putting our faith in Mr. Schoems is what gets us into these situations in the first place.
That's true, Ryunosuke.
This is a gas balloon, isn't it? It's tiny, but it does seem to have, to be a real balloon.
Yes, I think you're right. I think it's helium that's keeping it up.
A green gas balloon. Why does that seem to ring a bell with me?
If you can see, there are footprints on this balloon too. Look.
Oh yes, surely that's a clue, isn't it? Though, what it tells us, I'm not sure. There's a shoe there. It's weird.
I don't know what... I mean... I have no idea why the footprints would be there.
It's hard to believe, but there's a shoe up there, look!
Oh yes, and there are more footprints on this little balloon too. Perhaps the shoe was thrown up there and became lodged? Do you think?
If so, then judging from the number of footprints, it must have been thrown up there several times. Why would anyone be throwing a shoe up at the ceiling, though?
Oh dear, that's beyond me, I'm afraid.
I mean, what if he... Okay, here's a fun thing. What if the balloon didn't have gas in it in the first place? He put gas after he tore up the thing, got whatever was from the safe, then there was a rope that he used to swing from the balloon up to that compartment? I don't know.
I was thinking more like, what if he stepped on the balloon and floated up, and then that thing like folded out, and then he was able to just walk up there?
Folded out?
Like those things where you fold, the stairs fold out.
But I don't see a string for like...
Oh.
Actually there is something over there. It looks like these are the only windows in the room. In other words, if you wanted to escape without using the door, these skylights would be the only way.
Yes, that's true. But even so...
Right next to the only escape route, we notice some telltale footprints.
Nevertheless, as we've said many times now, gravity can't explain how they got here.
That's true. But powerful springs in the soles of a man's shoes could.
Have you been having strange dreams as well? Like Mr. Schoems?
I don't know about that. The skylight. Why is this... Okay. I mean, should we... Maybe we should, like, post the balloon. No, or the shoe itself.
Take that!
Really? It's a shoe? Okay.
Weird.
I mean, it's out of place, definitely. Alright, explain, Ryu. I don't know. The reason there are footprints on the ceiling is because of a nearby shoe!
Nani?
And on closer inspection, there are clearly footprints all over the balloon as well. Sit still, Amber. In other words, the aim was never the skylight at all, but the balloon itself.
You can feel me moving around?
Yep.
But for what purpose?
A green balloon. That seems somewhat familiar, Data. Ah! It was a piece of the green... Oh, whoops.
It was a piece of green balloon's envelope that Mr. Naruhodou and Iris found on the scene.
And inside the green balloon that Master Gotts claims he saw above the stage was when the incident occurred. Was the second birdcage the crux of the whole instantaneous kinesis deception?
You mean to say...
If we assume the balloon in here is a model of the one used on the day, there's a strong possibility that something may be concealed inside it.
Oh.
Something our abscounder was desperate to retrieve before making a hasty getaway. But the balloon's out of reach. Hence why he resorted to a projectile, namely the shoe. Most probably, Drebber intended to tear a hole in the envelope by assailing it with his shoe. However, his efforts were more thwarted when the shoe itself became a prisoner of those lofty heights.
Oh dear! We desperately need to examine that balloon then. If only there was some way we could see inside of it.
You may recall that I found this in the room earlier, which I believe offers a solution.
Oh, the rope!
To reach the intended destination, what better tool than this rope?
Okay. Mr. Schoems has managed to bring the deduction back to the rope.
Alright, I have to admit, that was clever. So, we just throw the rope up to the balloon and then pull it down for us to go on the ground then.
Which is much easier said than done, I feel. And could take us a very long time as well.
True, perhaps we need a more surefire method. In fact, we already have one, of course, don't we? The crossbow?
Take that!
Oh,
seriously?
Okay.
Okay. To reach the unintended destination, what better tool than this crossbow?
That was found at the scene, in fact.
And in all likelihood belongs to Mr. Drebber. If the man had only brought it away with him that day, then he could have avoided losing a shoe at such a critical time as this. Okay.
Why didn't he bring his weapon with him?
So shall we? Your curiosity is deeply strided on doubt, my dear fellows. What is it that Enoch Drebber has hidden inside that balloon?
Ruga wants food.
Me too, Ruga.
Bam!
Ah!
Oh!
What the? A waxwork!
Well, that's the head.
Indeed it is. Waxwork head inside a metal mask. A mask that is shut tight and fastened with a strong and quite impenetrable lock. So we can't see the face inside, that means...
Just a moment. This is the head of the waxwork model. Does that mean... Oh my goodness!
I see you've joined your doubts, Miss Susie. Excellent. Of course, a headless wax figure model. The case of the abducted Madame Tuspel's model that you'd largely solved. It was only the head of the killer that was still missing. Indeed it was. Now I get paid. But I believe Madame Tuspel will now have to settle for her sizable account with me. This, as you say, now surmised, is the head of the infamous Professor. Yes!
But why is it here?
This conclusively confirms my suspicions. The man responsible for stealing the Professor from Madame Tuspel's and returning it, our son Sete, earlier today was none other than Enoch Drebber. This is incredible! Professor Hairbrain's case and the waxwork abduction they're
inextricably linked.
Inextricably linked by Enoch Drebber's workshop. The waxwork head has been added into the court record.
You can just say they're linked.
Well, it appears our logical pleasure cruise has come to an end, my dear fellows.
Unbelievably linked.
All that remains is, yes, to speak with the archetype of this adventure.
The architect?
You mean Mr. Drebber? As it seems quite impossible that he escaped via one of the skylights, obviously the man must still be in this room.
What?
And his location should be abundantly clear.
The safe!
If you simply reflect on the journey we've made together during this deduction. So Holmes is smart, it just takes him a while. You think Drebber is right here, somewhere in this room?
Yeah, he is smart.
So, Mr. Naruhodo, what will you do the honors? Yes, of course. Mr. Drebber's hiding place must be the... I'm gonna say the safe.
Take that!
Yep. Before we gained access to this back room, we heard noises from in here, which tells us what the engineer was still in the building at the time. He was in fact searching for the combination to this safe, and pressed for time, made no attempt to right the furniture that he overturned in the process, from which we can deduce that his search for the combination happened very recently indeed. In summary, Mr. Enoch Drebber...
You were right, Luke. It's in the safe.
...is at the very moment inside the safe.
Did he hear you?
Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of this topsy-turvy puzzle. He tried to blow up the evidence, but it didn't work. Although, if he tried to blow up the evidence when they find the waxwork figure inside the balloon, it would blow up the entire room.
Yeah.
Deduction complete. Elementary, my dear Sholmes.
So now we're gonna arrest him, maybe.
Probably.
I always worry, like, when you arrest people like this, what if they run away and you overpower you? Like, Schoems and Ryunosuke aren't very, like, buff, no offense.
So, Mr. Naruhodo, I think perhaps it's time we ended this game of hide-and-seek, don't you? By opening the safe, you mean? What else? Let's see, the combination was...
432582.
I knew that. All right, then. Here it goes.
Sure you did, Ryunosuke.
She has a very good memory.
Susie is everything I'm not.
He's inside the safe!
You were right, Luke. It was the Batman comic.
You found me.
It was the Batman comic. This guy is cool looking.
I
think he's just being weird. Maybe not. Maybe he's a robot.
Is he Michael Jackson? No. Right then, sir. Mr. Enoch Drebber, I presume? Correct. You better start talking. You tricked Professor Hairbrain with that bogus machine you built.
And you shall have to explain the theft of the waxwork from Madame Tuspel's as well.
Whilst I would be delighted to answer your many questions, personally, I would advise that you deactivate my little parcel first. Deactivate?
Your parcel?
I refer, of course, to the time bomb I left in the most prominent position.
Oh!
Ha ha ha. I see. Stunned silence. You're all gearing up to die with me, then.
No!
I would leave.
Just throw it out the window. Mr. Schoems, with only 7 seconds to spare?
That was too close for comfort. I've got 1 foot in the grave already. Are you trying to help us get a killer or get us killed?
Mr. Schoems' deductions can be completely life-altering, can't they?
Well, my dear fellows, that was a close shave, wasn't it? The resemblance of an anti-gravity device is really quite startling, I must say.
Anti-gravity devices don't exist!
Woo! I wouldn't push it, Mr. Schoems. Wow.
This guy is
So the
something else.
bomb almost went off.
So the bomb was going off the whole
I still
time.
can't believe we were nearly blown up! What was that? Sideways glance in aid of Mr. Naruhodo? I thought that deducing meant from movement people's eyes was specifically Mr. Schoems.
Never mind that now. Let's see what Mr. Drebber has to say for himself.
Oh my gosh.
I cannot believe we were almost blowed up.
I knew it. So he was gonna... Well, I mean, he would have survived inside the safe,
You
probably.
did know it, Luke. You did know it.
Although, he might not have. There's like it's a 50-50 shot.
If that ever happens in real life, and you can either go into a safe or a refrigerator.
Refrigerator won't work. Refrigerator, if you're thinking of jumping into a refrigerator like the Indiana Jones movie to survive a nuclear explosion, it doesn't have enough lead in the fridge. Like, it wouldn't work.
Oh. What if you threw the bomb into the refrigerator?
No.
And then ran away?
No. No. No.
They do that in the movies, though.
Well, a bomb, yeah, maybe. It would, like, limit the amount of the explosion, but... Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, then.
Alright, let's talk with this fool. What happened here? What on earth happened in here? You found me, haven't you? No need to screw me down any further. Everything in here is precisely what it seems. Yeah, well, we'll be giving it a thorough going over, don't you worry, Mr. Drebber. What fails to click with me is how you were able to locate my workshop. That I was not expecting. When I heard whistling from the other room, I knew it was time to bolt.
Whistling?
Ah, that would have been me. My bad.
Oh!
For some reason, I woke in a fine fiddle today. Oh. No words, just tightly squeezed chips. The fish is gone now. He ate it. Clearly, I must have a screw loose, though, as I couldn't remember the combination for the safe. And another one loose, as I couldn't remember on which piece of furniture I had written it down. We also found a rope over by the wall. Yes, I had hoped to exit through the skylight, but sadly, the rope was too short. So, then I set about searching for the combination code to open the safe. And burning the incriminating blueprints, don't forget. Regrettably, though, you failed to retrieve the head from the balloon among the rafters. And after that, you hid yourself inside the safe, having first set this parcel ticking. Well, I had no intention of being nailed by the police. The time bomb. Okay. Got a death wish, have you? Hiding right beside a ticking time bomb? Please, why do you suppose I chose to hide inside the safe? It's no ordinary safe. It's specifically designed. A dynamite explosion wouldn't have a scratch on it. So in fact, the safe was only a safe place. Oh my gosh. Precisely.
Well, once you climbed inside, you wouldn't have been able to get out again.
I invite you to look closely into the safe. The safe is fitted with a handle on the inside to allow the door to be unlocked within. Oh, never mind.
Oh, interesting.
So he had to memorize the code then, or he'd be stuck. Ah, so it is! But how would you see in there?
I know.
I had always intended to blow this place to smithereens in any case. I just wasn't expecting uninvited guests to come along and screw up my plans. Do you mean to say you were planning to blow us all up? No, no. That was unforeseen. What do you mean? Most people run, you see, when they see a ticking time bomb at their feet. Ah! I calculated the time required for retreat for a safe distance and set the device accordingly. But your seemingly endless discourse in here threw a spanner in the works. Gregson looking at Schoems. Is something wrong, Gregson? I do have something on my face, besides usual eyes, ears, nose, and mouth. Gregson's like, I'm going to kill you, Schoems. I think we have a fairly good idea of what's going on here now. But what about the two incidents you evidently been involved in recently? Professor Harebrain's Professor Harebrain's doohickey machine experiment at the Great Exhibition, and the waxwork model you stole, with this head belongs to. That's no ordinary head, you know. That is the head of the professor, clad in a mask with a lock so strong I'm unable to open it safely to reveal the killer's identity. I've been considering carrying it around as a protection, after all. Oh, no.
That's enough! Or, that's enough. I don't know.
That's fine.
I don't know how she says it. What's going on here, Gregson? I'm sure you're aware that I've just sole jurisdiction to investigate here.
Yes, well, you see... Oh.
How did she even know this place existed? I thought no one knew it.
No, they discovered it, and then they told the forensic team.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry. Nope. Your little hypothesis is incorrect. Oh, it's Dr. Scythe again, the forensics investigation team's leader. And the coroner.
And you know full well this engineer is a key witness. Why are you allowing this lawyer to access to him? If Lord Strongheart knew of this, you'd be finished.
Oh, oopsies!
I'm evil. You lot! Leave at once!
My dear madam, there's no need for such threatening tone, I assure you. After all, that's no way to greet an old acquaintance, is it, Dr. Scythe?
Hello, Schoems.
Oh, they used to date. Mr. Schoems knows Dr. Scythe?
Perhaps.
If it's protecting the machine next door that's causing such a sour expression on your face, you're quite misguided. It's really nothing more than a shell,
Get out!
But of course, we'll show ourselves the door. I see you haven't softened at all. Mr. Naruhodou! Yes? It would appear that our delightfully entertaining investigations have run their course for today. But Mr. Schoems! Let us leave this place in the doctor's capable hands. Okay.
I said get out! Now! All of you! Your presence here is not required either, Gregson.
Oh...
Rude.
Understood. But I'll just say one thing before I head off. If it wasn't for this lawyer and his companions, we'd never have found this place, and the whole workshop would have been blown to bits. There was a time bomb set in here, this lot has disarmed. Inspector.
Thanks, Gregson.
Ka. Something giving you a chuckle, has it, Drebber?
That's his laugh.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to offend. You're quite right, of course. You did disarm the time bomb, didn't you? Oh! Yes, you did disarm that one.
Eh? What are you? That one? You mean...
Ha. Oh my gosh! There's another bomb! The original machine at the exhibition? Oh my gosh! He just killed 2 police officers!
Oh my gosh.
It was an hour later that we heard the news of the enormous explosion that ripped through the experimentation stage at the Great Exhibition. Professor Harebrain's invention and all its secrets were blown away forever. Wow.
Man, that guy's evil.
Oh my gosh. He just killed all those people that were there. The investigation team was there. There were police officers. There were probably people near the exhibition. This dude is nasty. Isn't that right?
I don't know who's worse. That guy or the
I mean, he's definitely a killer. He's not trying to hide it.
Yeah, but the other lady's rude.
Rude, yes, but she's not a killer.
Isn't she? She seems evil.
Do you have access on your phone to order food? Or no? You would have to use the
What
computer.
food?
Pizza.
I don't even like pizza.
I like it. I don't want
I'll
that other
just get
place.
it for you, but I'll just have eggs.
You can have eggs or you can have your lasagna stuff that it comes with. 24th of October, 9/11. The Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber.
I'll just make myself pee. Oh.
Oh, wait. What is this guy again?
Good
German.
morning to you. Wait, I can't say it.
Good morning to you, Mr. Naruhodo.
Thank you.
Ah, good morning, Professor. Ready for today's proceedings? I hope so. I should be... Even I, with nothing left to... Good morning, my dear fellows. Oh, Mr. Schoems! You're here! Ah, why, naturally, a true gentleman stands shoulder to shoulder with his friends in battle at all times. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I'll see you later, then. Now, Professor, we really need you to remain calm in the courtroom
You
today.
said I'm moving around. You're moving your leg all over the place.
I'm so hungry. That's why I kind of wanted to order stuff.
Fine, I'll sit here and order it.
You know what I like?
I don't even have any means to order it. I have to find a... nothing.
A card?
Just forget it. I don't want to order it.
I have a card right here.
What else? Ah! Luke, maybe you should read... Look, maybe you should... Luke,
There you go.
maybe you should, like, read the dialogue.
Yeah, I will. I
Are we
will.
almost done with the stream?
No. Now, Professor, we really need you to remain calm in the courtroom today, okay?
Yes! Do try your hardest not to enter the witness stand uninvited, okay?
Yes, I will. I realized it was a mistake, but My dear fellows, I must interject. Oh? You're still here, Mr. Schoems? What's the matter? Surely you've overlooked some praise, have you not? To be cast in my direction? Sorry, I don't follow. Well, I spell it out for you? I, the great Herlock Sholmes, the greatest detective of worldwide acclamation, arose at some ungodly hour to be here now. First thing in the morning, a miracle you must agree. Well, if I must agree, then... As you know, my sleep is quite impregnable. Iris had to employ her full gamut of tactics. She pulled the covers off, shook me, poked both cheeks, punched and kicked me from the bed. Then she poured a boiling cup of her latest experimental blend on my face. At the last, it was What? It was... She poured tea all over your face? How do you not have burns?
This is saying it doesn't have delivery available right now.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Oh, never mind. I'll figure it out. It's just very... It's hard for me to do two things at once. I don't really want to order this right now while I'm streaming.
Sorry, well, let me...
Oh my! Iris has been busy!
I was just gonna explain by the
Plus,
time...
I would have to sit here and talk to you about what toppings you want. It'd be so awkward.
You know what I like? I like pineapple pizza. I like, Canadian bacon or, like, black olives. I'm not hard. Iris doesn't have to... wow. Iris doesn't have it in her to go that far. She's so nice. It seems the spirit of a fellow scientist, one who relishes the infinite possibilities of blending tea. I'm the one worthy of praise here, not Iris. This is my victory for having tea spoiled, like, poured all over you? Doesn't make any sense. Sorry to cut in. Oh, sorry to cut in. Inspector Gregson. Good morning, sir. Gregson, my dear fellow. Why the grim expression at this delightfully early hour? Oh, I don't know. Maybe because I've been confronted with a grimmer expression, eh? Dear me. Are you going to take that insult lying down, Professor? What? 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 I don't know what he's even speaking of! What is this humor? Poor professor. Anyway, here's the paperwork you asked for. What paperwork? I didn't ask for any paperwork, did I? I took the liberty of requesting it yesterday, my dear fellow. I have a feeling it may prove useful. You wouldn't believe the hoops I had to jump through to get this brought out of the archives. It's the professor's autopsy report. Oh my gosh.
What? That mass murderers?
Who killed 5 members of the royalty? What? Yes. He was found guilty in a closed trial 10 years ago now. It was all done under wraps. And he was quickly executed soon after the trial. It's all in here. The killer's autopsy report has been entered in the court record, but what does that have to do with anything? I don't know what to say, except thank you, Inspector. Right. Yes. Much obliged, Gregson. Good job. Us slowly lost at the yard are just doing what we can in the shadow of the great Detective Holmes, of course. Okay, so Gregson's gone. Well then, Professor Hairbrain, this is it. Today we're going to lay all this to rest, at last.
I wish you the best of luck, Professor.
I suppose he'll be in there today, will he? Drebber?
Yes, we expect the prosecution to summon him as a witness.
I'm still amazed that you managed to find him in just one day. What's the super chat for? Thank you very much.
Thanks so much for the super chat.
Objection. Amber and Luke order pizza, says Silver
Oh,
Leo.
thank you so much, Silver Leo.
Oh.
Huh? What, do you want me to look at it? Because I can't even look at it on my phone right now.
Yeah, I got it. I can't see it on my phone either. It takes a sec.
Objection. Here, Luke and Amber order pizza the way you like it. I can't wait for tomorrow.
Oh yeah, tomorrow is your...
Thank you so much, Silver Leo. You're breathtaking.
Yes.
Says objection. Here, Amber and Luke, order pizza the way you like it. Thank you so much, Silver Leo. You're awesome. Thank you so much for your generosity, Silver Leo. And just, you guys know, Silver Leo not only got me a donation so I could get a copy of the game Monster Hunter Stories 2, but now he's doing a Monster Hunter Stories 2 Ultimate stream tomorrow.
Yep.
So thank you so much for your generosity, Silver Leo, and I can't wait for my Ultimate stream tomorrow.
Yes, it'll be tomorrow at 8 o'clock, so that means the Marvel Ultimate... I said it again. The Marvel stream will be at 10 o'clock.
Thanks for the super chat, Silver Leo, and thanks for the pizza. Really appreciate it.
Appreciate it. I'm still amazed that you managed to find him in just one day. Aha! I really owe you both so very much. Counsel and the defendant. The trial's about to resume. Kindly make your way into the courtroom at this moment. Thank you. Here we go.
So what do you want? You have ham and pineapple, and what do you want?
I like
Thank you so much, Silver Leo. I really appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
ham and pineapple and
You want ham and black olive.
yeah. Or
I'll just get
yeah.
something on it. Maybe
Sure.
we can get bacon or
Yes! That's great. Well, that's it then. The final chapter. Funny, my heart's racing a little bit. This isn't the final chapter. We still have 2 more cases. Like, there's 5 cases per game. This is a 3rd case. I've not felt this before, actually. This strange, foreboding feeling. As if something's going to happen in this trial that I'm not ready for. But I can't let that distract me from the only thing that really matters. Finding the truth. Okay.
You get mushrooms on it, or?
Sure. I love mushrooms.
I put green pepper on it.
That's fine. 24th of October, 9:30 a.m., the Old Bailey Courtroom. Wow, they have court early in the morning.
Thank you so much, Silver Leo, for the pizza. You're so generous. Thank you so much. I don't know,
Oh my gosh. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session once again. We resume the public hearing of Albert Hairbrain here present, who stands accused of murder. Are the counsels of the prosecution and defense ready to proceed? Oh no. So many characters. The prosecution is ready, my lord, as is my assassin assistant. Hello. The defense is ready, my lord. Whew. As promised, Lord Van Zeek's with his apprentice's memory. Why would they say apprentice twice? As promised, Lord Van Zeek has his apprentice with him. His apprentice with memory loss.
Oh.
That's okay. She's just doing ... If I may, Lord Van Zeeks? Yes, my lord, what is it? There appears to be someone standing at your side. Yes, my apprentice and assistant in this matter.
Oh, yeah, that's
The
right.
prosecution believes today proceedings will see the complexity of this case rise considerably. He opened it with his sword?
Wait, but Ryunosuke has Kazuma's sword. He has another sword now?
He has a British sword right now, yeah.
Mm.
Okay. I therefore instruct my assistant to ensure the smooth running of this trial. And the smooth running of liquid refreshments by the look of it.
Yep. The way he holds himself, the way he moves, it couldn't be anyone else.
Leave your crush alone, you have Naruhodou now.
Who?
I'm doomed. But he's still suffering from amnesia, so there's really nothing we can do at the moment.
I know, but oh, this is so very hard.
Alright, I don't really understand what's going on, but it would appear the prosecution has done a fine job in responding to the demands of the court made yesterday. I understand you have successfully secured the engineer who disappeared from the scene in the day of question. Yes, my lord, this is the K-Wing show, occasionally starring Amber. Yes, my lord, I intend to call him as a Whitney shortly. How many characters can I do? Blah! Yes, very good. Now then, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, blast! I forgot the jury was in this as well! We have chosen at random to represent the will of the people in this courtroom today. Who are you all ready to proceed? Let's sound off. Let's have a good old roll call, shall we? Yes, my lord. Wait, what was he? He was like,
I don't know.
Of course, yes, my lord. I'm sure we all understand the importance of doing our civic duty.
He's Luther from Warcraft. Who's that Warcraft guy?
Luther?
Who's the guy who's the Warcraft 3? The
guy who
guy who becomes evil.
Lothar?
Lothar!
Yes,
He's
my
Lothar!
lord.
He's Lothar from Warcraft 3. I'm so despise deception and deceit. It's so wearing.
Why haven't they made a new Warcraft like where's my Warcraft 4? Like they went and they did that WoW game and they never made a true sequel to Warcraft 3. Outside of WoW, you know, they made that massively online RPG, but where's my RTS game? You know, where's my real-time strategy thing?
I don't know.
To take a man's life with conjuring a trick, it's against the magician's code, not to mention the law.
Oh, any fake scientist should fear the wrath of God, if you ask me.
We have to listen to what's said on both sides. The fence and settle on one that is, isn't it?
No, not Lex Luthor.
Lothar.
I can't remember his name.
His name is
what's his
he's
face?
the main character of Warcraft 3. He's the hero, but then he becomes evil in the end.
Then he becomes a Death Knight. Yeah, it was so long ago, guys. I can't remember his name. It starts with an L. Wasn't like this in my day. Wasn't at all like this, nope. Alright, well that was fun. If all parties are ready to proceed, you may now begin, Lord Van Zeeks. Yes, before I do, my lord, there's a report I must read to the court. Here I go. Give me my thing, apprentice. Yesterday at the Great Exhibition Grounds, the evidence of the primary importance in this case. The super high voltage instantaneous Canisius machine, which was installed at the experimentation stage. He likes to build up drama, doesn't he? Was deliberately destroyed in an explosion effected by an unknown person or persons. What? It was? An explosion?
This is an outrage.
Da-da-dun. Yes, I heard this grave news yesterday. Scotland Yard submitted a report to my office in the evening. It read that the machine was blasted to smithereens and the wreckage reduced to ashes in the flames. I have here a photographic print of the scene taken in the wake of the explosion. It shows that there was a trap door, though. It doesn't matter.
Why is this making me schedule it for later?
I don't know. Oh my gosh, it can't even come today?
Yeah, it says it can't come today on the phone. They're not even
Wow.
Darn it, Luke! I went to all this trouble! And now they're not even... Wait, let's see if we can do...
It shows what little remains of the machine. Curse you and your stupid pizza, local
We
town.
can do pickup, probably.
Yeah, that's for the best. Yes, a terrible business indeed. But it just shows the trap door. It already proves that there was something underneath. He did it to destroy evidence, did he? That Drebber. The court will take this print as evidence, Consul, thank you. But it already proves that there was something underneath it. That pictures everything. So it doesn't really matter that they blew everything up. Late yesterday afternoon, the prosecution afforded to the machine by the Special Dispensation for the Scientific Equipment Act was revoked. However, before a thorough investigation could begin, the investigation was obliterated from existence.
I really don't like doing this on my phone because then this happens. I just spent like almost 40 minutes doing this to get everything right, and now it's all messed up.
Okay, Ember. As such, it will become very different trial indeed. Ah! As it stands now, with no evidence on which to draw meaningful conclusions, the authenticity of the machine will remain forever in obscurity. Whoopsies. Yes, indeed. A most unfortunate state of affairs indeed. However, one thing remains clear. The victim's death was the result of the actions of the accused. Of that we can be certain. What? For it was the accused himself who was operating the machine and who ultimately caused its loss of control.
Objection.
As Lord Van Zeeks rightly says, this is a very different trial now. What? The accused accepts responsibility for his part in the events that transpired. That's correct. He acknowledges that Mr. Asman died as a result of the accident caused by his machine's malfunction. However, unbeknownst to the professor, he was being deliberately deceived by a pair of very clever fraudsters. Names, Consul, if you please. The engineer, Mr. Enoch Drebber, and the victim himself, Mr. Asman. Interesting. So, what exactly were these two men up to behind the defendant's back? The defense intends to expose the information, thus establishing the unequivocal innocence of our defendant. Thank you, Consuls. The position of the prosecution and defense have been clearly stated. Lord Van Zeeks, summon your first witness, if you please. At once, my lord. It's fine, Amber. Just forget it. I'll find something else to eat.
I don't want to forget about it. I've been doing this entire time.
Well, they're not going to deliver it today.
You don't know that. You could go over here and fix it. You could go check it out. You could go look at a million websites and try to figure it out. I don't understand why I have to do it when you want it.
I will do it at 7 o'clock, but it won't come until 9. That's the only thing. So I'll find something else.
It says the store is closed, so you
Yeah.
need to look that up.
And if the store is closed, then there's nothing we can do.
I don't know if it's closed. You would have to look that up on your computer.
Okay, then I'll switch seats with you. I don't understand why you're getting so upset. Okay. The prosecution calls the engineer, Mr. Enoch Drebber, to the stand. When things don't go according to plan, Ember gets upset. State your name and occupation for the court. My name is Enoch Drebber. Occupation... hard to pin down, I would say. So that black monocle? Oh, I feel as though I've seen that somewhere before. Oh, you too? Your file indicates that you are currently being investigated in connection with another case, is that correct? The theft of a waxwork model, is it? A most extraordinary sounding business. But that has no bearing on this trial, I assure you. Cleave it from your mind. You're familiar with the public experiment carried out at the Great Exhibition some days ago, correct? The accused super high voltage instantaneous kinesis demonstration machine. Yes, as you would say, I'm aware of it. There was a terrible accident, wasn't there? We shall see. It was you, Mr. Drebber, who constructed the vase machine used in the experiment. Or so our investigations indicate. Can you confirm your involvement, please? Yes, I constructed it in precise accordance with the blueprints, but that is all. Then the court would be very interested to hear your thoughts about the machine, I'm sure. I suppose. An amazing device, if you ask me. The pinnacle of modern science, making instantaneous kinesis a reality at last. What? Good gracious! Do you mean to say the device works? That experiment was a bona fide success? Is that your belief, sir? The dude's a murderer. Yes, that is very much my belief. Such a waste that it blew up.
Objection!
I don't believe so. We've already established the machine was nothing more than a prop for an elaborate conjuring trick.
Objection!
You've established nothing of the sort. What? All that was shown during yesterday's proceedings is that the same outcome could have been produced by the means of staged trickery. The defense merely proposed a method and demonstrated its feasibility, nothing more.
Look, I just wanted to do this stream with you. I didn't want to spend this whole time. I just spent an hour doing this, and I don't even really want this.
Okay, I'm sorry,
and
Amber.
It didn't work, and
Yeah.
now I'm doing it again, and it's not working.
Right,
So,
it's not gonna work.
right.
They're
So
closed.
why did you? But you told me I had to.
We'll talk about this after the stream.
But I didn't want to do this during the stream.
I said I was sorry.
I've never
I didn't
heard
have
you say that.
I didn't have time to eat otherwise, so I was gonna have something delivered.
Why didn't you just have me do it after? Why do you have me do it during the stream?
Because it takes some time to make it. It would take time to deliver it.
Nothing is happening
Right.
here.
But that's because it's closed, Amber. I'm sorry.
You don't know that it's closed. There's
It's-
a problem with the site, so it's taking an hour.
I'm pretty
Which
sure
is wasting my entire day.
you didn't waste your entire day. You wasted 40 minutes.
Right, but you didn't waste it because you told me to do it.
We've procrastinated long enough, I feel. Witness, you will now give your formal testimony, if you please, about the machine that you constructed for the purpose of the demonstration of the Great Exhibition. Understood. Witness testimony. The kinesis machine. Alright, thanks for waiting, people. I called the pizza place. They are closed, probably due to the flood warning or whatever. Thank you, Silver Leo, for the super chat. You're right, the pizza does not have to be today. I was just, it would have been cool, but there's no place open right now. So, nothing can be done about it. Thank you again for your generosity. And the stream resumes per normal. Alright, so, we're here with Mr. Robot Guy. What was his name again? Drebber. I met the young professor approximately 1 year ago through Mr. Asman's introduction. He provided me with blueprints and I constructed the machine to his precise specifications. It was no trick. If the whole show was a fraud, it would have required a body double. Tell me, did the victim have a twin? The guy just brought up a body double. He did it. All the spectators saw the birdcage appear above their heads and then crash headfirst into the crystal tower. A terrible accident, I grant you. Perhaps the science on which the machine was built was flawed somehow. No, I don't believe so. Ah, a body double? Why did you bring that up?
I know, right?
Because he thinks he can get away with it. That goes without saying, surely. To give the impression that something has moved when in reality it hasn't. It's a basic conjuring principle. The deception cannot be achieved without substituting the original with a fake at some point in the performance. But, I would be right in saying you haven't managed to establish anything along those lines. Oh! Incidentally, the prosecution has already confirmed that Mr. Asman has no twin siblings. That doesn't matter. It is under my understanding that this witness is well versed in conjuring, artfulness. Artfulness? Whatever. But such talents did not indicate that was actually able to accomplish what he claims. Namely, the construction of what, by all counts, must have been extremely complex scientific machines. Whatever do you mean, complex? Yesterday's proceedings brought the true nature of the two past exploits to light, Mr. Drebber. Indeed it did, my lord, I think. As a swindler, he preys on innocent scientists to elicit government grant money through conjuring know-how, probably. Yes, it is true that I possess considerable knowledge of stage magic. But, crucially, my scientific knowledge more than matches that of any academic in the field. Investigation of the witness's workshop attests to that claim, my lord. As evidence, the police has found this Royal Society trophy for a young talent in science.
Yes, that's true. We spotted it there ourselves.
If a hypothesis is sound, it can always be forged into a physical manifestation with sufficient skill. It can. Though I may have sold the secrets of some deceptive wiles to sniveling, talentless scientists in the past. Would you therefore assert that the explosion of the machine was an unfortunate accident? Oh, or of course, a deliberate act of murder carried out by misuse of the science. Okay. Very well, counsel for the defense. Your cross-examination, please.
Wait, why is this guy defending himself if he's a murderer?
He's saying that the guy still killed the person, but it wasn't his machine's fault. I think that's what he was getting at, but also he did do stuff, and he's, like, telling people that in order to pull this trick off, he just confirmed the defense's thing, though, by saying 2 people. So he would say you need a body double, so now he's put that idea in there. He's basically, he's so smart that he's trying to get away with it. Like, you know, when bad guys trip up, they say stuff intentionally, so you know they did it, and you try to catch them. More or less. I met the young professor approximately 1 year ago.
Hold it!
Okay, so you were already acquainted with Mr. Asman himself then, right? Not really. By chance I'd seen his name mentioned in the papers, that's all. But no interest in his private affairs. If, was an unscrupulous investor, it was no concern of mine. As long as people pay their bills, I take up my tools and construct what they ask for. So why did Mr. Asman approach you in particular, then? Who can say? I presume because my name is associated with excellence in engineering. Not to mention excellence in fraud. Oh, what? Hard to gauge, but the point is, all I did was construct the machine according to the blueprints I was given. In other words, the kinesis machine was built on a solid scientific principle. Yes, you might say that. Professor Hairbrain certainly has a mind like no other. Well, that's true, but he provided me with blueprints and I constructed the machine.
Hold it!
So you say. It's clear that you have both scientific knowledge and knowledge of conjuring magic. However, the more knowledge you have, the better equipped you are to handle whatever comes along. But your implication is that I furnished the machine with some trickery, I think? It's a possibility that we have to explore. Unfortunately, though, the machine has been blown to Kingdom Come. So there's really nothing left to explore, is there? It appears that the machine was fitted with a timed explosive device of some kind. And there's nothing left of that device either. Not a single shred of evidence remaining, or so I hear. Wow, he must have planned all this from the outset. Okay. But in any case, it's abundantly clear that the experiment couldn't have been a trick. Yes, it can. Wait, where's... Just for my own purposes. The picture...
I don't know why he mentioned a body double.
The picture that he provided literally shows that there's a trapdoor underneath here. When the original machine in his laboratory, there is no trapdoor. There's no gilded cage either. So, I mean, this is made of metal so that something can pop out of it. So it is some type of deception. And the fact that he brought up a body double, it means that. Did they actually give us a picture of the original machine or no? Or the one that we saw at the lab? No.
Thank you for calling that place.
I'm sorry that it didn't work out.
The way you were saying it to me, it felt like you were saying, I didn't have a choice. I have to order that for you now on the stream like it's my job.
No, that's not what I meant.
But that's exactly what you said to me. And I didn't want to, and then you told me I had to. So, just very frustrating because then after an hour of doing that, I'm just...
If the whole show was a fraud, it would have required a body double. Tell me, did the victim have a twin? No. Of course, that's it! Mr. Asman was a twin! What?
Objection.
No. What are you talking about? Perhaps my learned friend wasn't listening earlier. Mr. Asman had no twin siblings. Oh, no, I heard you before. But the thread of hope hadn't quite left me. Oh boy.
The demonstration could have been a trick if there was somebody who looked sufficiently like the victim. What I was just saying is I was frustrated because there's no way that I could explain to you the site wasn't working because you weren't listening to me. And it would have taken an hour to explain to you. By that time the stream would have been over. And then by that time we could have ordered the food after that. So I was just extremely frustrated because you weren't listening to me.
I'm sorry I wasn't listening.
But Dr. Sight absolutely ruled that out as a possibility.
Let me see my document, assistant. It is beyond question that the victim himself, Mr. Asman, did move from the stage to the Crystal Tower. The fingerprints found at the scene attest to the fact.
So it can't be orchestrated using someone who looked identical to Mr. Asman, then?
But it could be a wax figure.
What are you thinking, Mr. Naruhodo?
Oh! No, nothing. Just that idea of someone who looked identical to the victim is playing on my mind. Yes, the wax figure. Of course. All the spectators saw the birdcage appear above their heads and then crash into the Crystal Tower.
Hold it!
It crashed head first, you say? According to the many witnesses' reports from there at the time, yes. Were you not there at the exhibition grounds on the day? Computing. Unlikely. I rarely leave my workshop. Yet another of your unique inventions was found at the scene, though. Ah, you didn't know the crossbow was missing. Actually, he doesn't seem to care. Well, it was, the unveiling of a machine I'd labored over for many months. I saw it clearly with my own eyes, the birdcage plummeting headfirst into the tower. What a surprise! I believe the victim's neck was broken from the headlong fall, was it not? How would you have come by that information? Even an infernal recluse like me reads the newspapers, you know. According to the reports, 2 injuries were apparent on the victim's body. Yeah, he'd been stabbed in the chest by a screwdriver believed to belong to the defendant. And he had a broken vertebrae as a result of the fall from a considerable height. Correct! My learned friend has been doing his research, it seems. Right. Do we know which injury was the fatal one, though? Sadly not, no. Forensic science is not yet at the level where such things can be determined. I see. What we do know is the victim died of having sustained both injuries at some point during the experiment. And since he was found in the birdcage with his neck broken, it's obvious that he fell from a considerable height. I suppose that's hard to deny. Interesting. A terrible accident, I grant you. Perhaps the science on which the machine was built was flawed.
Hold it!
But you just said it wasn't. So you understand the science, do you? Not in the slightest, no. Oh! What? As I've said a number of times, I'm an engineer. My job is to manufacture according to the blueprints I've been given. I would be inviting manifold problems if I foolishly allowed my brain to digest the ideas behind them. I could be accused of stealing those ideas, for example. But how is it possible to construct a machine without really understanding the principles that you rely on? Let me see. Well, you're practicing law without really understanding the principles it relies on, aren't you? Very good point! Uh-oh. Mom, that's Susie.
Oh, stand up for yourself, Mr. Naruhodo.
The point is, the experiment resulted in instantaneous kinesis taking place. As such, the science must be sound. Yes, and really, experimental results are all that matters when it comes to proving a hypothesis. He's certainly very sure of himself.
What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo?
Well, now that the machine has been completely destroyed by yesterday's explosion, it's gonna be impossible to argue its authenticity one way or another. That's Susie again.
But if we're unable to establish that it was a piece of stage trickery rather than genuine science, we will have no grounds on which to demonstrate Professor Hairbrain's innocence.
Both Mr. Osmond and his man in the stand tricked the professor and used him somehow. But they took advantage of his naivety and his unbending belief in his work. And I won't let them get away with it, Susie. And seeing as the professor is an old friend of Lord Van Zeek's, what on earth must he be feeling towards Drebber? Okay, so obviously we have to present something. Fall damage, testimony. My gosh. I don't know.
I tried to help you order for another place. It's not ordering.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe they're all closed.
They're all closed because of the flash flood. That's what I'm guessing. They just like when it snows here, they get panicked. When it has these massive rainstorms, they get panicked.
I was just driving in it.
Well, you're not from around here. You've also driven through New York City like it's no problem. Like if they were driving through New York City, they'd be freaking out. Because they're...
It's like when they close everything in Texas because there's a half an inch of snow.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like, okay.
I mean, that thing is made of all wood.
No, it's just, I'm just frustrated because now I have to, you said you have to have food, so now I have to go wandering all over
No.
the... Yes, I do. Why would you magically...
Because I'll just eat my cereal.
Then...
I was just craving something a little different today, that's all.
That's not what you're saying.
Ah, look here, Miss Susie.
Oh yes, the world's wood's cracked and broken a little, I suppose because it fell from a height.
Probably. Yeah, from the height at which the balloon was flying, down into the crystal tower below. A fall about 30 feet, or 9 meters.
Leaving the man inside tragically dead.
Okay, can we examine any other evidence? The crossbow's not gonna help, the cage isn't gonna help. And we can't examine the photo. Post-explosion photograph. Let's see. So he talks about spectators saw the birdcage appear above their heads and then crashed headfirst into the crystal tower. I mean, he's mentioning the birdcage. Probably present the birdcage. Let's save first. Well, actually, you know what? We have tons of, like, hits, so I'm just gonna take the gamble. I think it's the bird cage, but the way that they're going about it, I don't know. But they're kind of giving you a hint right there where he says the bird cage. So he's pretty sure about himself. So let's try the bird cage. Let's see what happens.
Objection.
We've examined the bird cage that crashed into the crystal tower ourselves, actually. As you can see, the cage, which is wooden construction, has sustained damage in one particular spot. Following the explosion, it fell some 30 feet into the glass of the crystal tower. That level of damage is to be expected, surely. Right, I agree. The damage itself is entirely understandable. What doesn't make sense is the location of that damage. Where are you going with this, Ryunosuke? All the breaks in the wood are at the base of the bird cage. Oh, okay. Well, it was hard to see what was the top from the bottom. What are you saying? That's the opposite of where it should be. Thank you, Judge, stating the obvious. That's right, my lord. Hello, Zelda. The bird cage that was on the scene is damaged by its base. So, we have reports of the birdcage falling headlong into the crystal tower, yet the damage is at the bottom of it. The only way to reconcile these two facts is to accept that there are two bird cages in play that day, which were at some point switched. What? Oh, I see where he's going with this. Switched during what was essentially a scientific experiment at all, but an elaborate piece of stage trickery instead. Gah. Dun, 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 dun. Good gracious! Explain yourself, witness. Well... If we're to examine the facts, there's only one logical conclusion we can draw. The damage on the base of the birdcage clearly indicates that it crashed into the tower.
Objection.
Yeah, but multiple witness reports claim that it was head first. The birdcage is materialized in the sky next to a balloon flying over the stage, following a spontaneous explosion. An altitude of some 60 feet above the ground level. Oh, it's Susie, sweetie.
Which is approximately 18 meters.
Then proceeded to fall some 30 feet into the crystal tower in the ensuing delagration explosion. Witness reports amid such chaos are notoriously unreliable.
Objection.
But the victim's neck was broken. You can't argue that.
Objection.
He plummeted 30 feet inside a heavy wooden cage. However, he fell. It would be unsurprising to find one or two of his vertebrae crushed. Ka. I laugh at you. I'm going to tell you more. A riveting scientific analysis of events from the prosecution there. Though to be even more rigorous, you would have to say it was only one vertebrae, actually. How would he know? What? He wasn't quiet for long.
I find it hard to see what's motivating Lord Van Zeeks here. This witness is clearly a swindler and one who deceives a personal friend of his.
If you're going to establish this deception, do it right.
Sorry?
I feel like that's the undertone here. Ah, yes, and there's one more point. The defense appears to have forgotten it obviously wasn't a trick, as a certain truth very plainly demonstrates. What? It seems to me that the cross-examination had better continue until we resolve this matter. Mr. Drebber, you will amend your testimony with the details of this truth. Of course, we must treat the matter scientifically after all. I nearly had him there. He is a wily customer. Okay. The kinesis clearly took place because there was nowhere else 30 feet high for the birdcage to have fallen from.
Hold it!
Okay. What do you mean exactly? Well, before the demonstration began, the victim was alive on stage in front of the audience, was he not? Yeah, there was a lot of witnesses who saw Mr. Asman on the experimentation stage, that's true. And the victim's neck was broken as a result of the impact following the fall. Logically, therefore, the victim must have fallen from somewhere. Let me have my papers, please. The balloon that exploded was at an altitude of 60 feet. The point of impact on the tower was 30 feet up. And the difference of the 30 feet is therefore the total distance of the birdcage. Sure. And there's no other location from which the cage could have fallen that distance if it didn't drop out of the sky. Ergo, the victim himself must have been beamed from the stage into the sky above the crystal tower. A trenchant scientific analysis. Trenchant, thank you. Dear me, every time I heard it explained, it sounds increasingly plausible. Oh yes, it's very well thought out, indeed. It's little Susie.
Certainly, all the spectators on that day saw it. The birdcage plummeted 30 feet through the air, I mean.
Irritatingly, yes, that's true. This guy's hard to catch. Something about... Oops. Well, he's certainly very sure of himself. I accidentally went through this again.
What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo?
Well, the machine's all blowed up, so... argue, blah, blah, blah. Yup. Asman. Okay, I didn't want to go through all the points again. Seeing as a professor, Van Zeeks, and Mr. Drebber, blah, 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 blah. There's something about Statement 4. Again. But we can't press him on it because we already did press him on it again. The kinesis clearly took place because there was nowhere else 30 feet above for the birdcage to have fallen from. Do we have anything? A photograph of Drebber, that's not going to help. Photograph of the balloon. Autopsy report, photograph of the victim, crossbow, piece of cloth, experiment, sketch. There's no place else. Oh! There is a place! The balloon! He said there's no place else that the body could have fallen from. Well, I mean, you got a balloon right in the way there. That could be it. Is there anything else we have? I really think that's going to come in handy later, because it shows that it has a bottom. So my thinking is that Drebber was there, and the machine, like, did all its smoke and mirrors, and then somehow they killed the guy, like, when nobody was looking. They switched it with the wax double, and then, no, then how would the body get from there up to where it needs to go? But I think the trapdoor opened, and that's how they killed him. But I'm going to say, because we have no strikes yet, let's try this sketch. Because it shows the air balloons.
I don't know.
This right here is a diagram of the experimentation stage and its surroundings, correct? What of it? I'm getting to that. We know that somehow the birdcage appeared in midair before falling down into the crystal tower. Like that. A fall of about 30 feet, or 9 meters. However, if you examine the diagram carefully, you'll see that there is one other possible location from which the birdcage could have fallen. The same distance of 30 feet. No! Huh?
Okay, I don't understand.
The balloon, sweetie. I think Ryunosuke is trying to point to the balloon. Like saying that there was something else that could have, propelled that cage thing. Or made the cage fall from that exact height. It appears the defense has a possible explanation to put forward. Go ahead, Consul. Okay, I will, my lord. Of course. You will indicate the place to which you're referring on the same diagram. Sorry, Judge. The alternative location from which the birdcage could have possibly fallen, the requisite 30 feet. So be the balloon. Be right here. Be the sky. Because that's here.
I don't know. As you know, I spent the last hour doing what you asked, so I haven't been paying attention to the case at all. I haven't been able to look at the case because I was doing what you asked. So I don't know. And that's why I was frustrated, because I would have really liked to be part of the episode, but you told me to do that. So I don't know.
I've already apologized for that.
Right, but you're asking me for my help when I wasn't here.
No, I
haven't been here the whole time.
I'm not asking for your help. I'm just talking to you. I'm just conversing.
You asked me a question.
All right. The alternative location from which the birdcage could have possibly have fallen 30 feet. Could be the sky.
The chat has a lot of comments about it.
Well, I mean, you guys are free to, you know, let us know your thoughts. I think it's the balloon. I think it's the sky. Because there are other balloons here. And we know a balloon was broken. I don't know how the machine could really be of use. Unless...
Everybody's seeing the balloon. I don't know what other explanation there is.
Yeah, we'll try the balloon. Try the balloon. See what happens.
Take that!
If it had fallen from there, the birdcage would have plummeted the same 30 feet distance.
Objection!
If that's my learned friend's claim, I suggest he demonstrates for the court, personally. Huh? You may consider this a parting gift. Oh, it's not the balloon? What? Well, I mean, it has to do with the sketch.
There was a hole in the stage photo, says Dr. Clue.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Clue. I feel like I've just hit the deck from 30 feet up, anyhow. Alright then, don't give me recourse to make the next fall from 60 feet up, You will indicate the place to which you are referring on this same diagram. Okay, Clue says it's the machine. So... click the machine itself, I guess? Okay.
Take that!
The place I'm referring to is here. Well, that's where the birdcage would have been to begin with. Which is exactly the point, my lord. Yes, the birdcage was in the machine on the stage, but what we must also consider is the height of the stage itself. Very good, Mr. Clue. Go on, Consul. It turns out that the experimentation stage was built at a considerable height above the ground level. If you look at the diagram, in fact, you'll see that it's about the same height above ground as the balloon we have above the crash site.
What?
What? Okay, I didn't...
That doesn't make any sense.
I still thought it was a balloon, but oh well. Apparently not. I guess that trapdoor is going to come into play. When the experiment got underway, the machine and the birdcage were engulfed in steam. And? Oh, that would explain how the cage broke now. I understand. Because the cage is broken on the bottom. So, since it's made of wood and not metal, that, you know, plummet right there would have caused, like, some damage on the bottom of the cage, since it's made of wood. At that moment, the floor of the stage gave way, and if we assume there to be something, a void underneath, this birdcage and the only seen by the audience... Sorry. This birdcage and the only one seen by the audience would have fallen almost exactly the same distance. Okay, then. Once again, my lord, this all points to the fact that there was not one birdcage, but two.
Objection!
What? My learned friend, there's no evidence that the stage had such a, contrivance in its design. Someone is responsible for the criminal destruction of the kinesis machine itself, that's true. However, the stage still stands. And take a moment to look at the photographic print of the scene following yesterday's explosion. Yep, there's a hole. Good lord, the metal grill that formed the floor of the machine is undone! Yep, most likely blown open by the force of the explosion that destroyed the rest of the machine. The defense calls for the space below the stage to be investigated. Immediately! Okay. Mr. Drebber. It was you who built the kinesis machine, which means that it was you who built the two bird cages that were used to carry out this deception. Whether Professor Hairbrain's hypothesis is sound or not makes no difference, because it's the construction of the machine that matters. A machine designed to take Mr. Asmon's life. And I lay the blame firmly on the professor's door, something that could only have been carried out by you, Mr. Drebber.
Good job, Ryunosuke.
Grr. Oh, wow. Well, that's over. Or not.
Objection.
If my learned friend has reached the end of his wild assertions. What was the point of being it poured and then him breaking it? Whatever. The prosecution would like to crush the defense's argument slowly but surely. What? Your argument fails to hold water. On 2 counts. 2? Firstly, before and after the experiment, the witness went nowhere near the Canisius machine. Every relative member of the staff from the exhibition was attested to that. And I believe the members of Scotland Yard have also been on watch duty at the very public experiment. In other words, Mr. Drebber had no opportunity to switch the alleged pair of bird cages.
Objection.
But I've already explained why he wouldn't have needed to. The nonsense with the crossbow, that doesn't bolster your case at all. The man who disappeared from the stage and the man who crashed into the tower are one and the same. The forensic investigation team's report is unequivocal at that point. Ah! And the second flaw in your assertion is a distinct lack of motive. Why would this man have wanted to take the victim's life? He had no reason to do so. A motive? Do I have to think of everything myself? Thank you, assistant. I have here a contract provided by the witness. What contract is this, Lord Van Zeeks? The contract into which Mr. Drebber entered in with the victim, Mr. Asman, it reads. Mr. Drebber is to receive the 30% of all monies from the government grants or other income. 30%, certainly very favorable contractual conditions. But there is one very important provision botted into that clause. What provision? Mr. Drebber may only uphold his right on condition that both the contracting parties are alive. In other words, if either of us were to die, the contract would become null and void. You see, I had nothing to gain from Mr. Asman's death. The diametric opposite, in fact. Oh. There you go. Need I say more? The witness and neither had an opportunity nor reason to commit the alleged crime. In short, the possibility that Mr. Drebber, having done as you suggest, is nil. Uh-oh. And that's gonna do it for today. I'm pretty sure. Alright, it seems the defense assertion was somewhat wide off the mark. Lord Van Zeeks, you will submit the contract as evidence, please. Okay then, Drebber's contract has been entered into the court record. Alright, and you guys will have to wait for the cliffhanger tomorrow. That is it. So, Van Zeeks got us into a tight spot. There was a contract involved. Although, if the guy's an assassin, I don't think he really needs to worry about money. But I don't know. I could be wrong too. Who knows? Well, there we go. Thank you again, people, for watching. There's another stream that'll be starting up around, 8:15, 8:30 for your Marvel stream. Thank you again, Capcom, for providing a copy of this game. And we hope you guys will tune in for the cliffhanger tomorrow as we press the dude who, I don't know, I made sound like Brainiac because he's all machine-like, so I figured it worked.
Yeah.
All right, people.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Have a great night. Thank you again, Silver Leo, for the super chat. And I will see you guys for the Marvel stream. And afterwards, I might be streaming Metroid again or something else. I haven't really decided yet. Maybe I'll open up to you guys to, vote on something. Not really sure. But, alright. Thanks so much, people. And catch you later. Thanks for watching.
God bless and happy gaming. See ya.